me with how good they are on minimal time played in practice.
I
This
couldn't
is
agree more.
someone who only picked up the game more recently. So the amount of hours in for Sauce is a lot lower than someone you would normally see of their stature. That being said, oh my, does Kansas, again, very scary squad. But Purdue, I get the feeling that while I don't know very much about this Purdue squad in particular, I can say Purdue has always been about fundamentals, and they are going to get a fundamental goal number one.
All right. It seems that our in-game teams have not changed color. But that's okay. Don't know what's going on with that. Oh, I see. It is just the Barrel not catching up with the dang game. So sorry to see Purdue in orange, guys. They are obviously in the golden black or golden gray in this case. So apologies for all watching. I promise I didn't do this personally. I'm also myself learning how to use this wonderful thing called Barrel. I have my own personal one that I use. So this is brand new for me. However, one goal for Purdue is an interesting start to the series, in my opinion. If you had to pick a player on the side of Purdue, the Boilermakers, who you got?
Plain, 100%. Enchanted definitely brings a lot to the table, but I will say this again, and this is all conjecture, Taquito. Anyone who's unhinged enough to have JJ the Jet Flame as their profile picture on every single social available is good enough to beat anybody. Like, you have to be a different type of person, and Plain is just them.
I'm gonna take your word for it. I'm gonna keep my eyes on Plain. I always enjoy when players just use their name. So Ryan is always fun because who are you talking about? Oh, it's just my friend Ryan.
Yep.
As Plain turns themselves into a plane and dives for that defensive block, keeping Purdue at that 1-goal lead right now. I'm liking what we're seeing from the Boilermakers as they do come in the lower seed in this matchup.
Yeah, in Kansas, they come in as the highest ranked at large bid. They did not win their conference tournament. But when your conference opponent is Colorado, what do you expect? Colorado definitely one of those teams to watch out for.
I mean, we got to agree. Right? 4-0 sweep in the round one.
Okay, take a look at this for a moment.
Gotcha.
I have so much admiration for Sauce. Fakes the initial challenge, forces Ryan into a point that they don't have that much momentum, quick turns around, and then stuffs the goal. Sauce is crazy.
I have to agree. All right, Dronis. I'm telling you, I updated the freaking overlay, dog. And what do you want me to do here, okay, Mr. Dronis? I don't know why the color didn't change, but I'm working on it, okay? I'm working on it. 1-1 as we move through this game on our run. We're past halftime. And I do love the fact that Kansas has truly just answered back in such a wonderful challenge like they did. Sauce absolutely faking that first go around was good. I'm so much more used to seeing their high-powered offense. I'm not used to seeing them start so slow. Maybe this is best of 7 going on right now. What I do love to see, though, is I love every bit of how Purdue has stood up to them. I want to see more of this. I want to see more of the Menace Plain they're talking about. I want to see Enchanted get a little more involved. And honestly, again, my pick is going to be to watch Ryan. Just the first name guy is going to be the one that I'm going to keep my eyes on the side of.
It will be a bit interesting to see. Anytime Kansas comes out with a control game, you know that something is up. They have something cooking in the tank. No, especially if it's a game one. This is mental to me. Alpaca finds Sauce on the sidewall. He won't get the finish. His spade's a little far back, but quickly retained and brought right back in by Sauce. We've reached 1 minute left in the game. Enchanted's headhunting the front end of this play, but nobody on ball means it's not really worth it.
Good shot out of the corner. Good attempt right there.
Oh.
Enchanted. Gonna slide it right underneath the crossbar. And the Boilermakers make their presence known in their offensive third of their opponents, slamming it right there, top cheddar, taking the lead in this game, 2-1. Purdue looking to make a statement.
Everyone got involved in that play. Ryan had the initiation in. Blaine put it high off of the unguarded backboard, and now Sauce is trying to remind Purdue just who they are going up against. Sadly, it is not a one-man effort because Enchanted's going to bring this all the way down. Does Blaine have the finish? Not this time. Alpaca will sweep it away, but they have to go the distance, Taquito, in just 15 seconds.
And right now, with the way Purdue has approached with their offense, I'm not entirely sure that I see this happening for the Jayhawks. I see Purdue taking the lead in the series at 1 as the second tick down, playing with possession, pass out to the mid, looking for one more to go, but it doesn't matter. Purdue up in the series 1-0.
And I mean, we talked a little bit about just how huge things can be for Kansas if they are controlling the game. But it doesn't really matter if you don't get enough offense. I need to see an adjustment going into this next game.
There we go.
Definitely, I'm paying attention to what's going on in the chat because we were talking about lag. So if we were gonna have to switch over to a different a different lobby, I was gonna have to be on the ball, my friend.
Looks like I have finally figured out how to use Borrow.
Yeah.
So we're good. We got everything updated here. Got the right colors involved. Happy to see it. So we had two period. Okay, so we have a little bit of lag on the side of Purdue, like you were saying. All right. Hopefully, like we do all agree here, it was just a one-time thing. Luckily enough, the wonderful Kendo does have a little bit of the ability to stop the match if we need to. So thank you, Kendo, for that, having that here, bringing that to our series. Game 2. I like how Purdue controlled the pace of the game in the last 60 seconds.
Absolutely.
I had absolutely enjoyed seeing that. Showing that essence of there is no opponent tough enough for us to handle. I want to see it again. Start the second game with that fervor. Show us that it wasn't a fluke. It's not a one-time thing. You guys have it in the tank for an entire 7-game series.
Here's the thing. It was also a team effort. Everyone was getting involved in the offensive game for Purdue, and that is a case in point. I go back to the Purdue games of old, back in 2017. Yeah, this is not the same group of people, but the mentality, just as you don't change Big Ten football mentality, it still seems to remain the same. It's another one of those teams that really finds joy in playing off of each other. So the fact that just about everything that they're getting towards the offensive end is 1, 2, 3, everyone getting involved, that's impressive to me, Taquito, and it's something that Kansas can very easily find themselves in the hole because of. There's definitely a lot of upset potential coming from the side of Purdue.
Oh, 100%. And if you ask me, I'm all about upsets and underdogs. So I'm here for that Cinderella-esque story. Enchanted looking to sauce up the defense right there. Unfortunately, wasn't able to continue. It had to use the wave dash to really give themselves some momentum, but it just wasn't enough to continue moving forward there. However, they continue to remain in this possession. Fade off the back line. Nice little carry, catch, and flip away. That demo from Sauce kind of left them out on the pass, so their offense dies momentarily.
Although they do get the workaround. Sauce 1, 2, and 3 gets multiple touches and the double tap off the backboard. Oh my! Woo!
Yeah, that was good. That was so good for Kansas right there. 1-0 in the first 2 minutes. They get to start themselves off with a lead. And I think that it was just a tough situation for the Boilermakers. Talk at number 2 right there. And the Jayhawks are just going to strike with precision when given the opportunity. Wonderful pass from Spain to Sauce, and look at the placement of the shot.
But there's also a given opportunity. Enchanted slight mistouch, and that's all it took to turn things around. Now Kansas can operate with a little bit of momentum. Purdue will be forced to try to stop the bleeding. Ryan will head up. Pushes this into the offensive zone. Enchanted up early. Now, that is something that you do have to do against a player with control through the midfield like Sauce. You have to get up in their face, and it creates opportunities like this. Oh, I thought that was in. It's not going to go through, and despite the fact that everyone got involved, Purdue want that one back.
Oh, they absolutely want it back. They had an opportunity to at least put themselves on the scoreboard. Looking for another one here. Alpaca snuffs that out. It will be another chance for Kansas to continue increasing their lead. Ryan having to take care of Sauce up high, but with little utensils to move forward on this attack, looks like Purdue is going to have to reset and regain momentarily as they continue to try to test the defense of the Jayhawks. And it still stands tall. Kansas still up by 2.
Enchanted, ends up a little too far forward. Spade is going to get the benefit of this one, but I love what we are seeing so far out of Purdue. They have done an excellent job of maintaining some of that centerpiece pressure.
It's good to see, and this is what we do want to see from just an impressive squad like Kansas and the opponents that they have to face. The opponents have to stand up to that task. And again, Purdue taking game number 1 did exactly that. They falter a bit here in game number 2. Still plenty of time to get themselves some offense rolling. Plain and Enchanted working in tandem, trying to keep that ball moving towards the net. Unfortunately, gets snuffed out once again, and sadly, it will be cleared away from that final third. So, unfortunately, for the side of the Boilermakers.
But more pressure coming in from Purdue. Gonna be one and done, however. Plain on the back end will be able to keep this ball out. They start to move things back towards the offensive zone. And yeah, it's 3-0 on the scoreboard, but in all honesty, the time of possession and where the ball has been has borderline favored Purdue at times. Taking a look at some of the statistics that I have here in the backdrop, they're winning out boost consumption. They're finding ways to keep the ball in the Kansas side of the pitch majority of the game, despite the score line, and that leads to opportunities like this. It's Ryan coming through.
Absolutely wonderful for the momentum of the side of Purdue. Maybe not so much for this game number 2. However, it is a confidence booster. Wonderful challenge there. Nets Purdue a goal here close to the end of game number 2. Alpaca looking to fix up the defense. Gets challenged by Plain. Enchanted pass down. Oh, teammate wasn't ready for it to go that low. Plain with possession. Shoots and scores. And do we see Purdue turn this game on its head?
Hey, what you see is what you get. At the very least, they have gathered themselves quite a bit of momentum going into a game 3, but there is still 17 seconds left, and it would not surprise me as they've kept the ball in the offensive zone enough to put themselves in. Good gunfight! Played! There it goes!
Okay, so anyways, back to tied, possibly just pure swing of pace of play over to the side of Purdue. Can you believe what you're seeing, Mr. Kendo?
Yes, 100%. Straight up, Purdue have had the better control of the ball. While Kansas has had some brilliant plays, whether they be team plays, whether they be flip resets. All in all, the team that has better control of the ball, has been getting better position of challenge, has been Purdue. So it doesn't surprise me that they were able to come back. What is a real catch is the fact they were able to do it despite being down by 3 through mid-time.
This is crazy. I did not expect a 3-goal swing like that. And everything that you have said about this squad is just on the nose, my friend. I love the back little room statistics you have. For me, what a save from Ryan. I appreciate you pulling all that out to just prove that even though they were down in score, they have truly maintained the way this game has gone. They have truly kept it in their corner for as long as they could have. Good save here from Enchanted. Let's see what they do on the transition. It gets a little too far away, but Ryan there to push it forward.
I mean, on-ball possession. That means who's touched the ball last. You're looking at like a 55-45 split in favor of Kansas. But that is more than just manageable, especially when some of those possessions that Kansas have been bringing through have just been tossing the ball, similar to what we just saw from Spade. Does that get you possession in the offensive zone? Not every single time, as they haven't been winning the race. Then Enchanted almost gets it, if not for a superstar effort by Apaka on the line.
Oh, good possession here. Spain throws it down the line. It will be saved away. Enchanted yet again gets a chance here to cook with possession. Over 1, challenge on 2, but no one there to back them up. Nice challenge again from Plain. Does Ryan get it? No, it's stopped by Sauce. There's a Tibble in the back line. Is Ryan going to turn this one in? They almost do. Off the back wall, right back to Enchanted, and Purdue goes up by 2 in the series.
And this is mind-numbing if you are a Kansas player or fan, because they were up 3-0 and you had the full reverse sweep. 4-0 unanswered goals. Purdue bring everything back, and now they have a stout 2-game lead.
That is insane. And this is crazy when the team that won is the one asking for the new server. You know this is good. We're going to get this reset for them, guys. Kansas going to come back as a blue squad. The Boilermaker is going to come back in the gold. This is crazy. Like you said, speak on it some more for me, Kendo. Talk about that comeback right there. 17 seconds to bring back the 1 goal they scored, 2 immediately after that, and close to 2 minutes of overtime. Again, you're a Kansas fan. You were just touching on it right there. How do you feel right now? What is the mentality?
In all honesty, mentality is, I mean, if you're Kansas, you got to be able to recoup, because that was a rough go of it. It truly was not the way you would have liked things to go, and you also need to keep things working forward.
Agreed. All right, let's see. It looks like we have... Oh.
I'm just double checking. This will be a test lobby just to make
got
sure that everything goes through.
Gotcha. Okay, making sure. I was like, wait a second. All righty. This is wild. I am so happy to see the kind of underdog team take this massive lead in this series so far. Purdue to look to, oh, I see. That was the problem. All right. Purdue looking to continue their lead in this series, and as up by 2-0 so far. Do you think that they'll be able to maintain that possession that they had and that pace of play in this next game? Or do you think Kansas finally took enough notes to figure out how to beat it?
I think inherently Kansas does have the ability to take control of any game in any given series. The issue is they need to be operational as more of a team scope, because what we have seen so far from them has not been as good as it could be. There isn't a play together mentality the same way we've seen it from Purdue. And that really, truly has been the defense, or the difference, excuse me, between these two teams. Kansas has been a team that has pushed the issue and created off of their solo plays, whereas Purdue are working together. They're finding place in the midfield. They're getting the extra touch when they need it. And, we haven't even brought the crossbar into conversation just yet because they haven't really even needed to use it yet.
The woodwork has made his appearance every now and again, but the one time it did, I don't think it actually worked in favor for the team. And he tried to make his presence known for, but this one is just going to be absolutely magical, as Enchanted is going to put a goal up for the Boilermakers.
At this point in time, my worry is for Kansas, where is the mental? It's very easy to be up by 3 and then completely chalk everything up. And let's just be honest, the Jayhawks know how to rock and chalk. It's a two-headed monster. And at the moment, we're getting more of the chalk.
That's what I'm seeing, man. They got to start rocking it up, and I think they will right here, as it unfortunately goes off the defender. Spade getting credit for that one. An unfortunate own goal right at the defensive line will put Kansas on the board. We've got 2 goals to start us off with just barely a minute of gameplay here in game number 3.
It was also a giveaway. Purdue have had small instances of that when Kansas speed and their speed of challenge gets to them. They find themselves in a panic state. Alpaca going to be able to take advantage of this one. This one, slight mistouch by Enchanted, and then everyone is panicked. Does Blaine and the rest of the defense get a touch on it? Oh, absolutely. But it's so difficult when you're back to the basket, back to the play.
It is so very difficult. Ryan takes this one to the sky, looks for a double, is off the mark, so the defense will be able to clear it downfield. It's up to play. Oh, no.
Yeah, they're up this far at the moment, but I'll be perfectly honest. That means absolutely nothing. We've already seen the 3-goal swing. Who's to tell me that they won't make another 2-goal?
Look, I agree with you. I like to be hopeful. I like to be the optimist, if you will. That just hurts. That whiff of the back line just hurts. And, I mean, obviously they're having a good time with it. Okay, we can't do this on both sides of the pitch, guys. We can't have this happen on both sides now.
My friend, I've been watching Kansas Rocket League for a very long time. You're doomed for heartache. Each and every match.
Oh my God! Why are you right, Kendo? Why do you just know? Okay? I'm trying to figure it out here. You have the scrolls. You must have all the CRL scrolls to know that this was gonna happen. Another own goal. We haven't seen a single own goal in this series so far, and in this game we get 2 of them.
Fam, I've been around a little while. I've had the opportunity to watch a lot of teams, and I'm really enjoying getting to see Purdue for the first time on a stream. I've seen a lot of stats. I've seen a lot of results. I can't say that I've watched them on the replays through ball chasing. I probably should have beforehand going into this one, because then I would have had a little more information for you. But what I have seen so far is very encouraging, and they are taking full advantage of I called them throw lords. Kansas very much have put themselves out of the driver's seat, as it were, in this match. Yeah, they still control their own destiny, but being down by 2 is oh so dangerous.
It doesn't make it any better that, we have to continue to bring it up here. That 3-goal swing in 30 seconds. When you know that your opponent can do that at any point in time, they can turn the series on its head, you've got to be your head on a swivel, if you will. Sauce looking for an opportunity there. Good save off the back wall. Another one here, a little bit of free real estate there on Purdue's side, but Enchanted able to knock that one away. Possible double, and it's Enchanted yet again to stave off these attacks. They've been putting in hours, but not just minutes, in this series on the back line.
Indeed, indeed. We are going to see Kansas in the midfield, and at the very least, they've been able to gather themselves in through the mid. There's been a lot more ball possession by Purdue this time around, but Kansas still has been able to recoup from the midfield on. So a time of possession in the offensive zone for them, despite the lack of fervency behind some of their challenges, has been pretty good. That being said, everyone's back to the play. Enchanted's going to take full advantage.
What a flip reset. No boost as well, so obviously a good challenge right there. Could have 100% snuffed that shot out. But Purdue tying us up. 70 seconds left here in game 3. If they take the lead in this series, what a touch from Plain to knock that one away. But if they take that 3-game differential lead here in the series, what do you think that bodes for the Kansas Jayhawks side?
I think you need to give a service call to Prof at that point, because that's about the only thing that's going to bring you back into it mentally. Because even then, I don't know that Prof is able to bring you back. Sure, could they bring it all the way to 7 games? Oh, absolutely. But it's going to be tough confines. You don't want to lose this game number 3. You talked about how pivotal it is to win a game number 3. It's just as pivotal when there are 2 games already against you.
Right, and that's the other thing, too, is in the series previously, we had not seen a 2-0 swing like this. They were tied all the way down to the final few seconds there, and it's such a difference in pace, in attitude, in that word we like to use for morale here for the Jayhawks. I do hope that they find themselves some type of momentum now, possibly in the win. I'm not going to count it until the clock hits 0, because we've seen what Purdue does with their backs against the wall. Can they keep it alive?
No way.
0-second drill. Spade decides to call game, and that is the first series win we see for the Jayhawks.
And we will see an interesting lineup of stats. They keep leaving. I'm never able to get the full rundown, which makes me extremely sad, because I know that the shots are coming in droves. I know at a certain point this person had a shot then rather than there. But I believe it was 6 shots that Purdue put forth in this one up against what was a 8-shot Kansas effort. They just barely got outshot. Time of possession, efficacy, it all looks very similar between these 2 teams. And at this point, if you're Kansas, you just need a gut check. Do you have the stuff? Because if you have the stuff, you're going to win game number 4. If you don't, I think Purdue is going to take advantage of you. They're going to flip-flop that 4-2 prediction I had at the very beginning their way.
And right now, Purdue is absolutely flip-flopping that prediction. Enchanted looking for a nice, easy goal number 1. Ryan off the back wall. Plain puts it home. And in 10 seconds, the Boilermakers are putting the Jayhawks in hot water.
Yeah, you remember when I talked about gut check? This is team play each and every time. And it's so impressive to me to see how well Purdue plays together. Like, if that is the testament of this team, oh, are they going to continue to grow?
Bump at the back line could have been amazing. Could have given them goal number 2. Obviously, great awareness from the Jayhawks. Getting that one out, at least for the time being, to the mid. Alpaca down to Spade. Spade looking to call tie game right there. But unfortunately, if you're a Jayhawk fan, Plain is there to make you mad. Ball back in the mid, vying for that possession. Sauce with a touch, loses it over to Enchanted, who again, it is terrifying when they take it to the sky. We've seen what they can do. They're trying to replicate that flash of brilliance we saw in that last game. Unfortunately, they don't get it on that opportunity.
I mean, you throw in the fact that team plays make flashes of brilliance sustain themselves into glorious control sets in the offensive zone, and that's really what Purdue has brought to the table a majority of this time. Demo plays coming out. Spade is going to take one off of the pitch. It's not going to equate to pressure too much just yet, and Spade's able to get the save, but they're still on the back foot. Kansas, heavy breathing to try to keep this ball out. Oh, does Spade have the long ball?
No. Blaine was down there. I was thinking the same thing, too. My eyes were right there on the ball, just rolling down the midfield, and Blaine came from the corner. I believe they had just got demoed or bumped out of the way, so the rotation was absolutely amazing. But it just seems, right now, it seems that I can tell that Purdue is absolutely locked into this series. And boy, have they made this game so much harder for the side of number 2.
Watching that ball as it slowly pushes itself in through the midfield, and Alpaca is going to be able to take control. Love the patience. But Ryan equal to the task defensively. Here comes Sauce in the spot where they like to be normally. Spade has the secondary touch, but no third will come through. Sauce called off Spade at the very last second, but it's going to be Plain to bring this right on back out. Ryan, that's on net. Spade has to make the push and was able to do so. You're noticing the speed of the ball. Higher velocity than we've seen in some of the previous moments. I think that favors Kansas, but Purdue could prove me wrong with a couple of quick team plays.
That's one thing that I wanted to mention. It feels like the pace of the game, it moves slow. You know, if you gotta pay attention, it feels like they're not really moving with a lot of speed. They can bring up how fast the ball is actually going. And yeah, I do agree with you. I think faster pace of play would favor the Jayhawks. They move quickly. They are that fast team. They love rotating really, really strong on their opponents. But Purdue have just locked down that defense. This 1-goal lead has been held for close to, 3 minutes now?
Absolutely. Sauce on the back end is going to be able to keep this out. And if you're Kansas, yes, speed is a good thing, but if it is all forward pressure attenuated towards the net, it's predictable. I need to see a back pass. I need to see midfield pressure that goes beyond just simply throwing the ball at the net and then hoping to get a demo on the back end. Because while that speed is enchanting, you aren't going to beat 3 players on the net who have stuffed you for the past 2 minutes.
And they absolutely have. They've shut down every offensive opportunity. It's been wonderful. I think they've lacked that. They've lacked their own offense. Their defense has made up for it in droves. But if we can see Purdue possibly put one more on for themselves, that was an amazing save from Ryan. Good clear as well. Can they push more towards that goal? They can't. But still locking down this Kansas squad. Less than 30 seconds. Does Kansas have the ability to do what Purdue did to them and end it in just a few more moments?
Like I said, it's going to take more than just throwing that ball towards the net. Yes, the speed has been fantastic, but they're down to one more try. Sauce tries to get it up and over, won't be able to get the finish over Enchanted. However, this is down for Spade, and Alpaca gets the finish!
Ryan, up to the back wall, could not get the touch they were looking for. The double for Alpaca is wonderful. The buzzer beater gets rung. Welcome to overtime in game number 4, the first OT of this series.
I'm not sure if you saw it, but Spade actually got the bump on Ryan that opened things up. And now it's overtime. It's anyone's game. Bumps can go a long way to sustain some of that pressure that you've been getting on. The problem is it's still Kansas being one-dimensional. Mistake, however, by Blaine. In the midfield might be enough. Spade looking for blood yet again. We'll find it on the back end of the rotation. It's Sauce. The push towards the net. Enchanted forced to make the save to the side. Back out to Sauce. It is Spade. But nothing doing as it will go corner to corner, and it's a chance for Blaine to take control. Down through two, but not past Sauce at the end.
Alpaca's going to be in a lot of trouble here. No boost, little control. Enchanted making it look something magical happen on the back wall, playing out to a teammate, but Sauce completely snuffs that one away. Enchanted is going to look again to move forward, and this Purdue squad, they are looking like they're the ones currently in hot water. Boost on low. They are doing the best they can to keep this ball in the mid. They do well to just throw it away, but that doesn't alleviate enough pressure, guys. You got to do more than that. Alpaca's the only one down. Ryan is going to have to save here. He's another touch to at least get it away. They get it, but it's still so scary for the side of goal.
And while Kansas has been great as far as the speed has gone, they've also committed twice in double commit form. That probably should have been sent back, but Purdue just didn't have the resources in order to do so. They were just able to make enough of a save, the save face, and we are 2 minutes into this overtime. Oh, so impressive have both these teams been when playing their game, but Purdue needs to do more than just wait for this speed. They need to find a 50 to break it.
I think they also need to stop favoring that left-hand side right there, because the left-hand side hasn't seemed to produce the results they're looking for. Maybe pass central, maybe look for a teammate if you can. But what I like from both teams right now, they have not given either side a chance to really set up that team opportunity. It's been a lot of solo plays with low boost. That's a good demo. Even better bump on Ryan. Ryan is going to be a little awkward there. Does get the clear, but again, they're also shutting down all these team play opportunities. I think that Enchanted has nobody downfield to help them out.
Very much so, but Spade has Alpaca. He's not going to get anything on that ball. That being said, Purdue back to the play. And Ryan, low resources, is able to carry through to the box, where Enchanted decides not to go for it. That being said, they've managed to gather themselves a lot more boost in the past minute. Have Purdue, and they might create off of that. Spade almost hit the most ridiculous free jump off the ceiling I have seen in my life.
What a demo right there from Enchanted. Blaine looking to call game. Can Ryan help out? No, Ryan has to go back. Enchanted will play this from their own back line. Maybe a little bit of a slow play is good here. One touch of extra possession doesn't net positive. Oh, and Blaine with the backflip. That ruined every bit of that approach, and now Purdue is going to have to reset and regain quickly because the Jayhawks are starting to approach, and you've got to be worried about that crossbar coming in huge to save them away from a possible end to this OT.
I realize a lot of the pressure lies with Kansas, but I also feel like both teams are feeling the pressure of if you lose this game, chances are it's series. And it's that doomer mentality 100%. I don't know if Kansas comes back being down 3-1. I don't know that Purdue comes back if they see that 1-0 victory swept to the side in overtime.
We're looking at 5 minutes right now, Kendo. Both teams are going to be spent after this one. I don't know whose mentality is going to be more chalked, but for what it's worth, it's going to be tough trying to climb that mountain because you've done made it out of a molehill. Good demo from Enchanted. Stop Spade from having any help whatsoever, but the possession is still shaky from the side of Purdue. Ryan has to get this one away. No one's moving forward. They're playing so safe on the side of Purdue where we're seeing Kansas go all out. What needs to change for Purdue to lock this game in?
At the moment, it's as you said, Kansas looks like a stinking perpetual motion machine in the offensive zone. And if you're Purdue, you have to win a 50. Otherwise, the mistake may come through. And I think it will come down to a mistake. One of these teams is going to blow it, and it might be Kansas in the moment. Not this time around. Does Sauce have another touch? No. Enchanted with the carry.
Well, that's a good
Oh, no! I talked about the chance for a mistake, and Enchanted, while the catch was there, they lose out. Alpaca comes screaming in to finish this one off, and Kansas wins a very closely fought overtime.
1 goal game. Yeah, 1 goal game, Kendo.
27 shots!
That is 12. Sauce did nothing. Okay, excuse me. You know, he did something, but Sauce did nothing but shoot at the net and not get rewarded for it. 0 and 12. Are you absolutely Enchanted with the triple savior?
Yeah.
Like
that is some insane stats, but the fact is, if you're Purdue, towards the end, you were letting Kansas have their way in the offensive zone, and it came down to somebody's going to make a mistake. I perfectly honestly thought that Kansas was going to be the ones making the mistake on the offensive side of things. One commit too far, trying to go for a demo that wasn't there, and then being punished back the other way, because Purdue looked borderline perfection defensively up until that Enchanted mistouch. So we're even Stevens yet again in game 5.
Look,
and I can't believe it, to be perfectly honest.
I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you. We are literally riding the same timeline as the first series of the night. This has just become a best of 3 very quickly.
Whew. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Deep breath taken, folks. And we'll see how Purdue adjusts going into this next game. If I'm Purdue, I'm looking to smack Kansas in the mouth. I'm taking a Mike Tyson mentality. Yeah, it sure looked good until somebody smacked you in the mouth. And to that point, we'll see how you recover. Instead, it's Kansas. Double demo. Sauce forces the 50. Alpaca shot towards the net, but it's saved by Enchanted.
Beautiful clear as well. Excellent touch from Ryan right there. Tries to get the second, but can't. Sauce gonna get over 1, looking to go over 2. Can't get down in time. Enchanted with the clear. Wayne taking off from the complete opposite side of the field. I respect the fervor there, my friend, but maybe don't cross field cut like that unless you knew what you were doing. You're better at the game than I am, clearly, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't make decisions like that.
Speaking of decisions, what do you do if you're Kansas? Do you stay status quo? Do you keep the speed? I would say Sauce and Spade give us affirmative.
You definitely do not stay status quo. Stagnation is going to absolutely ruin you as a team in this series. If I'm Purdue, my mentality is I just lost one of the closest games possible. The series is tied. I would like to just harken back to your statement. I'm looking for that Mike Tyson mentality. Like, get over here, Kansas. About to give you one mean left hook. I want to come out just all cylinders firing, playing with a chance to kind of hook shot that one. It goes wide. Sauce takes an easy clear. Enchanted again, trying to remain annoying. Good bump there from Ryan, but Plain isn't able to find a teammate to help, and there's not enough disruption to allow them to get that goal. And again, they find themselves on this defensive line. Purdue's defense has been something of a wonder this series, if I have to be completely honest.
I agree with you. Their defense has been borderline immaculate, but it's been those 1 or 2 occasional mistakes, and it happens all the time at this level of play. You're going to make a mistake eventually. The fact that we went basically 2 games in game 4 without seeing it eventually, and then it finally came at the most inopportune time, which could have been any time, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, they've looked very good, but in order to have that Tyson mentality, smack them in the mouth, you need to actually be in position to score after you get that smack. It's still being doubled up on the shot count. Here comes another one, high enchanted, and that is a brilliant play. Everyone involved.
The 1-2-3 excellent bump to open up the lane. Alpaca, the lonely defender, just on an island, getting moved out of the way. Call it ludicrous. He said, move, get out the way, let us score.
I believe an alpaca sounds, it's not the sound an alpaca makes.
We probably like goes cockatoa or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Folks, we'd like to apologize for content, like, for example.
Thank you for the disclaimer.
This is the CCS, this is the CCS C stream. Bear in mind, statements that are made, pop culture and otherwise, don't always reflect CCS. Anyway, Spain's going to come through and show us a brilliant play right off the control, and it forces Blaine to ground himself.
All right, sorry. When I grew up, my dad worked on a ranch, so I had to, I worked around alpacas and llamas.
Yeah.
So
They spit. They do.
It's not the best thing in the world, so if anybody's from a rural area and they know what that feels like, Ryan is about to know what a missed opportunity feels like right there. Luckily enough, it doesn't happen to Purdue. Touch from Enchanted to move it forward. Back in locked in mode here on the commentary. It is something that I'm now kind of confused. It feels like Purdue has truly slowed down their whole entire pace in this specific game. Do you not feel they've kind of pulled back?
They're still maintaining a similar mentality to the previous games, and while they have had a lot more attenuation in the offensive zone this time around, it's come off of the back of some great play in the midfield to keep things sustained, and that has been the difference. That's why we are 2-2 with a minute 1 to go. It is not due in part to the fact that they are laying back, but they are working as a team in through the midfield, and Enchanted's gonna score!
So when I meant slow down, I'm going to change my phrase to calculated.
Yes.
They are playing much more calculated.
1,000%.
And I guess I chose the wrong turn of phrase amidst my commentary.
I agree with you. I think that they are doing a much better job of working together to keep control in the midfield, and that is what you mean by the calculated. That has been the difference in why they are now up by 1, which is insane to think. I need them not to turtle up, though. And I'm just being perfectly honest. If they are going to win this game, they have to keep that same forward mentality and not allow Kansas back in, because it was just a matter of time in the previous game before the Kansas offense was able to break them. You can't rest on your laurels and expect the defense, albeit a very good defense, to win you the day.
Absolutely not. Offense is really, that's kind of how you win. I thought Rocket League was opposite of golf, and it's the more goals you score, not the lower number. You want the higher number. Right now, we've got it by 1. This would be when this ball touches the ground, unless we have a 0-second banger here yet again.
Oh my.
From Kansas. Okay. This will be the third 1-goal game in a row. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Fourth.
So from
actually, all 5 of them, excuse me. 2-1, 3-4, 3-4, 2-1, now 3-2.
Okay, so we've had 5 1-goal games that have started either with an insane goal swing one direction or the other, or it has remained neck and neck through the entire series. I am so happy that we have been blessed with these series. All 4 of these teams have provided some of the best content I have ever seen.
And now for Kansas, if they're going to win, they got to lock in. In all honesty, we have not seen a team composition the same way that Purdue has been producing. time and time again. I need more team play. Yeah, they do create off of the solo plays. Spade and Sauce have been incredible. Alpaca from the ceiling. I never thought I'd see a flying alpaca.
Well, you would
Watch out, it spits.
Right. You would be sadly mistaken, my friend. Clearly, we've seen flying alpacas in this series, and you know, Mr. Kendo Slice may. We have a DC.
Yep, no worries, no worries.
Okay, cool. Mr. Kendo Slice, or can I call you Regis Philman? I would like to pull a lifeline, sir. Lifeline being prof, because right now Kansas needs that.
Phone a prof, are you in the chat? We need to, we need an update. What's the mental going into this next game? Are they chalked?
Or are they wrong?
Maybe they understand how to reduce coal to ash. That way the Boilermakers don't have as much working in their direction.
You're much better at these formulation of what are we looking for? Is it I wouldn't say adjectives, or is it one-liners? Maybe is what we'll call it. There, you got better one-liners than I do. You've been around this more often than me, and so has Plane. Plane has been in that exact position to make a wonderful goal, as they couldn't reduce the coal to ash, my friend. Those boilers absolutely making steam.
The boiler floweth over. What can we say? There's been a difference between these two teams, and it really has been that team play, and it boils down to, and I wish we could go back and show you the spacing between Purdue, but it has been an amazing sight to behold. Yes, there have been mistakes. Yes, there has been giveaways to Sauce on the goal line, but all in all, when you are in control, Purdue has been the better team, despite the fact that Kansas sports the better solo stats, the more mechanical players, one might argue.
I don't think I'm going to argue that one, actually. I don't want to argue that stat. I mean, you're right. I do agree that the pedigree when it comes to these players on the side of Kansas, you would be correct. I think individually they stack up much higher than they do on Purdue. But I feel it goes back to the simple phrase of play as a team, win as a team. And that is what Purdue has proven to us time and time again through this series. 3 times, to be in fact.
It might be playing as a team, win as a team. Not this time, though. Spade will keep it out, but you can see they are circling the net. He's going to call off as Ryan will pre-jump Plane in the midfield. Here comes Enchanted. Done some brilliant stuff in the box. Left one for Ryan. Won't be able to finish, but Plane comes around, and things are looking more and more desperate for KU.
At the exact 3-minute mark here in game number 6, Purdue going up by 1. You need to truly start thinking what's going to happen in these next 3 minutes. We know Kansas absolutely has it in them. They have it in them to turn this game on its head. But their opponents have created something here that has just been unlike I've seen in all of Kansas's opponents for quite some time through this CCS. It just beat up or iteration or battleground, if you will. Purdue has given these guys such a run for their money that it does nothing but bode well for their future in this bracket.
I mean, future in all of Collegiate Rocket League, if you ask me. Like, this goes further than just beating Kansas. This is a team that is working towards improving time in, time out, and I've taken notice of Purdue coming out of this match. It is very good squad, and I'm going to be looking forward to seeing what they're able to bring in going forward, because the East is quite difficult as far as competition goes. in the CRL landscape, but oh my, have they put together a team that can operate together.
Have they ever? Kendo, look at this. It's 3-1. Flame is trying to call series right now. Look at that goal right at the goal line. Caught Spade with concrete in the tires, sitting down low. All you need is one really good touch, a great flick by the example there, and we have seen Purdue give themselves a nice push-in.
It's crazy to me as I'm looking at some of these advanced stats that I'm going through game by game, and boost consumption, despite the fact that Kansas have played so fast at times, it is Purdue not only maintaining boost control, but also finding ways to use more boost, which that's unfathomable to me, as Flame's going to reach around and almost maintain a shot on the goal. But you're talking about Sauce and Spade, who are known for how good they can play carrying the ball solo. And then Alpaca has also shown us they can do exactly the same at times, if need be.
Spade trying to find that one off the back wall. Unfortunately for Kansas, they can't get something going, but they need to do it right now. If the Jayhawks want to make any kind of statement in this game, they have got to score literally within the next 10 seconds. And I'm sorry, that just doesn't look like it's going to happen. I don't like calling things early, Kendo, but oh my gosh, does this look like Purdue's series?
You heard it, the change in my Kona's voice, probably about a minute and a half ago. I had already mentally had this one called, because what we have seen is a Boilermaker team supremacy. So GG's all the way around. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with what's going on at Purdue.
Nothing short of a miracle as we throw our